You know what's crazy? Sometimes the market feels like it's yelling at you. Prices going up and then prices going back down again. There's news headlines popping up everywhere and everyone is saying different things. And if you're sitting there like, what do I even trade right now? I totally get it. When I first started trading, I tried to do everything. Every big move, every alert, every hot tip that I saw online. And you know what happened? Half the time I was already too late to the move. That's how people lose money in trading. Not because they're bad at it, but because they can't tell what's important right now and just ignore all of the noise. And today I'm going to show you how I ignore all of the extra stuff so that way I could finally find good trades inside of the market. And typically these are the trades that typically make $1,000 or more. This isn't about predicting the market. It is about staying calm when everything feels crazy in the market, which we know that happens quite a bit, so you can see what's really going on. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot signals that actually matter, ignore the ones that don't, how to build a simple system that helps you from trading on your feelings. And that's how I went from confused to clear to start making money inside of the market. So here's the plan. We'll talk about what market noise really is and the 3 simple tricks that I use every single week and the one big idea to help you trade with way less stress. And if you want to get really good at this, you don't have to do it alone. Inside of the Trading Launchpad, I help traders learn the basics, essentially how to read charts, how to understand the market, and how to manage their risk, especially since most of the people in there are new traders. And even if you're a beginner or maybe just a little beyond the basics type of trader, if you really want to get to the good stuff sooner, then the Profitable Traders Academy is where I help you get better at finding trades and I show you what I did to start making money inside of the markets. Both links are in the description box below. So you may be asking yourself, why does this all even matter? Here's the thing, your brain doesn't like not knowing stuff. So when you're watching the price bounce around and seeing other traders post their wins online, your brain starts to freak out and it starts saying things like, wait, I should have bought there. Or maybe this is the big move I've been waiting for. Or I better jump in before it's too late. But that voice, that is not your trading plan talking. That is fear talking. And the more noise you let in, the louder that voice gets. When you learn to ignore the noise, you can start making smarter decisions based on your trading plan, not your feelings. So think about it like this. Imagine trying to use the GPS while the radio is super loud, kids are screaming in the back, and somebody's calling you at the same time. And you may still get to where you're going, but it might take forever. And you probably may turn off at the wrong exit or have to circle back, but ignoring the noise is like turning everything off and just listening to one clear voice. Maybe you drop the kids off and then it's more silent. Maybe you put your phone on silent. Trading your plan is kind of like that. So to me, market noise is anything that pulls my attention away from what I'm supposed to be doing inside of the market. And what that could possibly look like for you is random opinions online from different people. And yes, that includes me. I'm sharing this information so that way you can learn how to do this stuff yourself. So that way you don't have to rely on others if you don't want to. That's also looking at too many things at once. Maybe just 10 markets is what you should look at and not 50. Using tools you don't really understand, just take the time to learn one tool and then build from there. And then even your own bad feelings after losing a trade or missing an opportunity inside of the market. Just know there's going to be other opportunities. It's okay. And it's not just about the price moving. It's about all the mental stuff that gets in your way while you're trying to trade. So the truth is, markets will always be noisy. There'll always be some new headline. Every single day there's new headlines. The goal isn't to make it go away. It's to make sure that you're able to sift through all of the noise and focus on what matters. I use 3 filters every single week in order to stay focused and find good trades fast. And I'm about to share those with you right now. Filter number 1 is the big picture. Before I look at any trades, I zoom way out. I look at the higher time frame, like the daily or the weekly time frame, not the 5-minute or any smaller time frame. The big one, because the higher the time frame, it shows me what really matters inside of the market. Where is price actually going? If the daily chart chart shows that prices are going up, I'm not going to try to bet against that and say that the price is going down. If you're just sitting there going nowhere, I know that breakouts can be messy, so I wait for confirmation. Basically, by choosing that higher time frame to look at first, I pick my side. Instead of reacting to every single move, I might just ask myself, am I buying or selling this week? It's as simple as that. That one question cuts my stress in half. And here's the crazy part. Most traders skip this step completely. They look at those lower time frame charts like the 5-minute or even the 1-minute chart at first. They see a quick pattern and they think this is the one. And if they would have zoomed out, then they would have saw that they were trading against the trend. And when you do that, it's really like trying to swim against the current. You might move forward for a second, but eventually the water will push you back. So before you do anything else, zoom out and always pick your side first. That's how I find my best trades fast, because I already know which direction to look, up, down, or wait for more information. It's that simple. Filter number 2, important lines on your chart. So once I know which way I'm trading, I focus on the levels that actually matter. Not every line on your chart deserves your attention. If it doesn't need to be there, then just remove it. New traders make this mistake all the time. They draw 20 lines, every high, every low from the day, every little move from months ago. Then they wonder why price bounces around everywhere. Well, the truth is, you don't need all of those lines. You just need to keep the right ones. And I only mark off levels that price have respected multiple times and that show up on a higher time frame, like the H4 or the daily or even the weekly at times. So think about it like this. If a level is obvious to you on the daily chart, it's obvious to thousands of other traders as well. That's going to be the price level where everyone is watching, and everyone's watching the same spot. That has a good opportunity that could potentially happen inside of the market. So on my charts, once I have those levels marked, I don't touch my chart again until price gets there. That's going to be my second filter. It stops me from chasing trades that look kind of good but don't really fit my plan. And after you do this for a few times, you'll be surprised at how good this feels. When you know what spots you're looking for, you just need to wait and you don't have to guess. So let me give you an example of what this looked like for me last month. Like most people, I was watching the gold market and price was going up, but it couldn't break through a strong level I'd marked off my chart weeks ago. Instead of forcing the trade, I waited. I waited for days, price stayed below that level, and then one morning, it finally broke out to the upside and started to take off. That was my trade, and within a week, that trade made me over $1,200. And then in about another week and a half, I was up over $3,000 on that options contract. And it wasn't because I predicted anything, but it was because I ignored all of the noise and just watched the only area that mattered for my entry. So ask yourself, what if you only traded from important levels this week? And not just every time it looks good, but your levels that you've drawn out on those higher time frames. You probably take fewer trades, but they'd be way better in quality. And that's what makes you consistent in the markets. Filter number 3 is waiting for proof or confirmation. And this one is about being patient. When price hits one of my important levels, I don't just jump in right away. Because how many times have you seen price get to an area and then it just doesn't get the bounce that you're looking for or the entry signal that you're looking for? I wait for some sort of proof, some sort of sign that tells me that traders see what I see. And then that could be a signal for the market in order to push in my direction. But that might be a big candle that shows some sort of reaction or price breaking through, or basically some sort of signal that tells me that this setup is about to go in the direction that I want it to go and not kind of look like it's going in my direction and then go in the opposite direction. So this part of the 3 filter framework is the most hardest for people, because when it gets to your level, your brain says, don't miss it. This is it. You need to enter now. But think about it this way. If your setup is really good, it won't disappear in the next 2 minutes. You'll be able to still get a clean entry after you see your confirmation. First being it getting to that level, and then next, some sort of candlestick pattern or maybe even price that you're looking for. But the traders who make it long term are the ones who can wait for that extra candle if you're looking at candles. The ones who don't rush just because price is moving. You don't need to catch the whole move in order to make money. You just need to catch the clean parts of the move. And that's how I'm able to trade calmly even when the markets are crazy, because yes, yes, they have been crazy for the past few months for sure. So here's something important. You can't get rid of noise completely. Sometimes it feels very random, but your job isn't to control it. Your job is to learn how to work with it. And when you understand that, you will stop trying to force things and you will start building structure instead. Filtering out the noise is really easy when you filter yourself. I'm talking about your urges, your overthinking, your need to always be doing something, your need to be right inside of the market. Those are the things that turn trading from stressful to calm when you learn to put those things to the side. So let me tell you about one of my Profitable Traders Academy students earlier this year. She came to me super frustrated because she was overtrading and she felt drained and she was doubting every single move she made inside of the market. So what we did was simplified her process down to those 3 filters that I just talked about, looking at the big picture, your important levels, and your confirmation. And she went from taking 10 to 20 trades a week to maybe just 3 or 4 every few weeks because she realized she didn't need to be in the market all the time in order to make money. And because she traded less, her results got better almost instantly because she wasn't losing money on trades that didn't matter anymore. Every trade she took had intention and reason, and her win rate didn't shoot up overnight, of course, but she started making money overall in the market, and that's exactly what we want to do. It's not about having a perfect win rate or a high win rate, it's about making money. Because when she was trading less, she was stressing less, and she was also letting her winning trades actually run. And that's also the other way that you make money inside of this market. And here's one thing that people forget. Being clear isn't just about feeling better. It is about making more money inside of the market. That's why we all do this in the first place. When you stop over trading, you stop risking too much. And that's how you make those $1,000, $2,000, or even $5,000 trades that happen over and over again. Filtering out noise isn't just a skill, it's a way of thinking as a trader. Because if you don't learn how to quiet your own thoughts while you're trying to trade, you'll keep trying to quiet the market, and that never works. You have to work on yourself because obviously we cannot change the market. But this is what I mean, just to give you a clearer picture. You'll spend hours looking for the perfect setups, or keep switching strategies, or thinking that this holy grail strategy or indicator will be the thing that finally helps you start making money in the markets. But what you're really doing is you're looking for certainty in something that is never really certain. The markets can be unpredictable or irrational at times. But once you accept that, you stop fighting for control and you start trading from what you see and not what you feel. And then that's when trading starts to feel lighter. And when people ask me questions about the market, I go straight to a chart. At this point, you're not freaking out about every single candle anymore. You're just letting the market do its thing, and then you're responding logically based on your plan. That is what pro traders do. And you don't necessarily need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to be a pro trader. But you have to understand that pro traders are not robots. It's not that they don't have feelings, it's just they don't let their emotions guide their decisions inside of the market. If they don't see what they need to see, then they just go ahead and skip it. They don't try to fight against the market. They don't panic or overthink. They know that missing one trade doesn't matter, but losing focus over and over again, that is what ruins your trading. And on that note, filtering noise from the market isn't just about technical analysis, it's about your mind. Because like me in the beginning, I had some of the cleanest charts, but my emotions were not stable when it came to the market. I started to see noise everywhere. And then once I started to work on my mind, then that's when I got better. Because in general, your brain starts seeing every red candle as a negative. You'll want to see every pullback means that the whole move is going to be reversing, and that's not true. It doesn't mean that every candle is against you. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. It's just that you're not confident in what the market is telling you. And that's because you have to work on your mind. So before I trade, I do one thing that helps me reset. I ask myself, am I calm enough to make a clear choice right now? And if the answer is no, I step away because maybe there's something that's happening in my life where I can't give the markets my full focus for that day, or maybe even that week sometimes. Or maybe I didn't get enough sleep, or maybe I didn't analyze my charts like I should have in order to prepare for the trading day if I plan on trading that day. And I'm saying all this because I have learned the hard way that forcing trades when I was emotional in the market, I was trying to make my money back, and all those things just never ended up well. So back when I was starting out, once I had lost over $2,000 in less than an hour. And at this point, it wasn't because my analysis was wrong, but it was because I was trying to win back a small loss that I had made earlier that morning. And it was also the time period where I was taking about 10, 20 trades in a day. That revenge trade for me just spiraled everything out of control. And when I look back, I realized that I wasn't reacting to what the market was telling me. I was reacting to the feelings about the market because I was trying to get my money back. That moment changed everything for me because you can't filter out the noise inside of the market until you learn to filter out the noise inside of yourself. So imagine opening up your charts tomorrow morning. You already know your direction. You already know that you have clean levels marked up on your chart. You're calm. You know exactly what you're looking for. And you're also not scrolling through Twitter or flipping between 100 different charts. You're setting alerts, you're watching, and you're waiting. And when price does touch one of your levels, you see a clear reaction, the exact thing that you were looking for. You now have your confirmation and you enter the trade. You're not stressing out or second guessing. And that is what filtering out the noise feels like. It's not that the market suddenly got easier. It's just that you got quieter and you know exactly what you need to look for before you hit that buy or sell button. That is how pro traders handle the markets. So here's something else that helped me stay grounded when things get noisy. Instead of saying, I need to find a trade today, I say, I'm waiting for the trade to find me. I'm waiting for price to hit my zone, and that's it. It may sound small, but this small change can change everything about your trading because it keeps you from acting out of fear of missing out. It also reminds you that opportunities are endless inside of the market, but your money isn't, at least not at this point, or at least not in the way you want it to be. But the traders who last aren't the ones who trade the most. They're the ones who trade knowing, they're the ones who know when to stay out of the market. And that's going to be the real advantage that you build with this filtering system that I've created for myself. Okay, so really quick, let's recap here. You filter the market noise through 3 simple steps. The first thing you're looking for is the big picture. You're not fighting the main direction. You understand what that direction is and you have a plan to trade in the same direction. Number 2, you want to mark off your important levels so that way you're not just trading from random spots in the market. Number 3 is going to be looking for that confirmation so you're not just reacting to every single move that you see. And the quiet mindset that ties all of this together is doing less can actually make you better as a trader because when you make decisions based out of clarity and focus, you don't make emotional decisions in the market. You are less emotional with the decisions you make inside of the market. So if all of this made sense to you and you're ready to build your own system around this, that's what I help traders do every single day. And that's either inside of the Trading Launchpad where I teach you how to master structure, support, and resistance and start trading with confidence. And when you're ready to go deeper, the Profitable Traders Academy is where we work on details like your entries, your exits, your mindsets, and your trade management. So you can turn those $1,000 setups into regular results that you see on a consistent basis inside of your trading. Both links are below in the description box. Feel free to check them out. And on the screen right now, you're going to see more videos that'll help you trade with more structure, patience, and real confidence every time you hit the chart. I'll see you there.